What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Main Street Mower. I'm Chip.
I'm Stu.
Today we are testing the 2024 lineup of Stihl's blowers, baby. Guys, in front of us and behind us are the entire blower family Stihl has to offer right now. Everything from Handhelds gas to Handhelds electric to backpack electric to gas backpack. Guys, we tested everything today. We created a test that we think is a really fair measure to see how fast they can all blow a similar size piece of medium. We're calling it medium. We basically marked off a 1,000 square foot square, and we used, what would you call these?
Stall bedding.
Yeah, stall bedding. It's kind of a unique product, but basically it's like an artificial leaf in this test. And I spread out 10 scoops per unit Stu tested, and we distributed them kind of evenly throughout the square. And then we would time Stu as he blew off the square as fast as he could. And when we tested each blower in its category to kind of see how fast it would blow.
We basically didn't use every blower. We just picked key blowers at key Newton values to get some data points so that we could talk about this lineup here today.
Guys, I was really impressed with the results. I feel like the test was a very fair test. Throughout this video, you're gonna see examples of how each blower did. And I'm shocked to see the improvement as you bought better blowers, how much more time you could save. I was really, really impressed with that.
Yeah, a couple things that we wanted to prove to you guys and ourselves is what's the difference between going homeowner gas handheld and commercial gas handheld? What's the difference in going battery, and how does that change your blow time versus going gas, or does it change it at all? This is a blower attachment. A lot of you have an attachable series. Will this attachment satisfy you? Will it give you the same kind of output that these will? And we have the answer for you today in the video. Then you have blowers like this BR200. It's really a handheld blower on a backplate. Is it gonna be faster? Is it gonna give you that step up to a backpack blower that you're looking for, or is it just a comfort thing? We found that out. And then on through the lineup, as you add more and more newtons and more horsepower and more weight, is it worth it?
Right. Realistically, guys, what I've realized is, like, if this is a driveway, 1,000 square foot driveway, we're talking the difference between 30 seconds between a fast one and a slow one.
Yeah.
It's not a huge savings in time. Like, if you have an extra 30 seconds to kill,
yeah,
or you're willing to spend, you could pick any option, really, is what I've kind of learned.
As a homeowner with one driveway, it's not make or break. Any decision you make, they'll all get it done.
They'll do it.
If you're a landscaper and you got 100 driveways, then time starts to become a factor.
Well, yeah, and then you have run time on your machine adding up. You know, if it takes you twice as long per driveway to do the work, your machine's running twice as long. You have half the lifespan of your unit.
The other factor is we were clearing dry material, but if you're gonna use your blower to get on your roof and clean soggy, chunky gutters out, push water, push rock back, that's when you're in the backpack range. But we'll get there.
We'll get there. There's a lot of blower models to talk about, and there are some subtle changes through the year, and then there's some big changes that have been made. Let's talk about gas handheld. What's new, what's different, Stu? Talk to us about gas handheld blowers.
All right, first of all, we can't start without starting with the BG50. This is a classic. It's very lightweight. It's got a good price point. We're gonna put a grid on the screen of all of these blowers and their price points and their Newton ratings and their test results timed on the grid. And any of the missing times that we didn't test, you'll be able to extrapolate that based on Newtons of the various blowers. So BG50, a very simple, low frills, gas-powered handheld blower, rated at 13 Newtons, and it performed really well in our 1,000 square foot test. Okay, this is a BG50, so this is entry-level gas handheld. I'll start on the dot. Ready? Go.
It actually beat some of the other more expensive blowers, considering it's the cheapest option, right?
Yeah, it certainly did. Yeah,
Yeah,
it did. Okay, then you have the more full feature BG56. This has easy start. It has a handle down here below. It has some kit options available. You could put a flattened nozzle or a gutter kit or a bagger kit. And we have some more videos where we go into more detail on this blower. It's the same Newton rating. It's a little more weight. It's a little more money for some nice features. Then this is a model that a lot of Stihl dealers do not carry. We carry it. It is a BG66. It's basically the same blower platform as the 56 with one important added feature. This is a silencer.
Photon cannon.
And this makes this blower a lot quieter. So we're gonna crank it and give you an idea what the sound is like. This is a BG86. It comes available with a round nozzle as well as this flattened nozzle. We tested it with this flattened nozzle. It performed quite well. Now we're gonna try the BG86. This is a 15 Newton handheld. This is the strongest gas-powered handheld that you're able to get anywhere. The BG50 that we just tested was 13 Newtons, so 2 more Newtons. Does this speed us up? No. This is a commercial model. It's commercial because of its air filtration, its anti-vibration, its rubber handle that's smoother in your hand, its throttle lock to save your muscles in your fingers if you're blowing for long periods of time. And it also has the Elasto Start handle trigger assembly, and that's to save you in the case of a snapback from hurting your hands while you're out on the job. And then lastly, there is the BG86C model, and that is all the features of the 86, but additionally with easy start.
Wow. So out of these models, Stu, what are your 2 favorites?
Man.
I know my 2 favorites.
All right, what are your 2 favorites?
Coming from a service standpoint and my understandings of each machine, I really like the BG50 for just the cheapest option.
Yeah.
And it performs really well.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's some a little more tedious things you got to do to start it. There's less comforts, but it just works well and it's a cheap, good blower.
Yeah.
My other favorite is the 86 without the easy start. I don't like easy start, but I am 33 and I don't have a bad shoulder yet.
Yeah.
So I can drop start it and it's fine. But I like that option because it has all the strength and all the goodies, anti-vibration, that sort of thing.
I would agree with all that except with one exception. I like people to avoid buyer's remorse. And I think this blower helps you to do that because the easy start's a nice feature.
It is nice.
You're gonna have young kids that grow into the age of working with your blower.
That's true.
And this is gonna get them cranking your blower at a younger age.
That's an important factor. Can your wife use it?
Your wife's gonna have a party. You're working that day. She's gonna wanna blow things off, and this is a blower that she can crank without flooding. She doesn't have to know which way the on-off switch is.
I might change my pick.
And it has half the throttle pull. And then when I say buyer's remorse, you may want to convert to a vacuum. If you buy a BG50, that's what you get, a dedicated blower. Right. But if you buy a BG56 and you decide you really need a vacuum, you're able to buy a kit to convert this into a vacuum. We have a video on that. And then you can also buy a gutter cleaning kit that's like a big candy cane, and that clicks onto this blower as well.
You're making some excellent points. I might change my mind.
Even though it stings you a little bit more at checkout,
yeah,
you don't regret it in the years to come.
The BG56 or the BG86 if you want a little more,
Now,
more.
The 86 is awesome. You got more newtons, you got more anti-vibration, more comfort, and more longevity.
Who would buy this? Just someone who has a really grumpy neighbor?
Yeah.
Or a sleeping baby?
A hotel that's trying to blow things off early in the morning before business gets started.
Right. The 50 did an excellent job. The 86 did a great job. I think they both performed really well. The 86 obviously won, and we kind of expected it to win. So let's talk about electric blowers. What is new for Stihl in electric blowers? What's the lineup? What is it? What do we got?
we have some classics and we have some new models. We've done some videos specifically on these models, but this is a good outdoor show you everything in the range. The BGA 57 is now the smallest unit in their lineup. This is 9 newtons, and we tested it, and it did well. It did, I would say, close to as well as the BG 50.
Only a few seconds off.
Ready, go. And it did well. It did, I would say, close to as well as the BG 50. It was quiet, and it didn't seem like it was that strong, but it was moving material quite well. Then you have the BGA 60. This is a new model. This is very strong. This is putting out 15 newtons, and it comes in a bundle with a big battery for $299. 15 newtons is the same amount of force as a BG 86 commercial. That's a lot of air.
It's a lot.
It has that accordion style tube, and it comes with a bigger battery. This is on my Christmas wish list right here, this blower.
That's the perfect, I have a house, I have a driveway. Even if it's a 300-foot long driveway, I bet that's the right choice.
This will get it done. This is the same output as the commercial model BGA 86. This attachment on any of the big gas motors or any of the electric combis is also 15 newtons. So this, 15 newtons, 15 newtons, 15 newtons.
And we found that it tests very similarly.
All right, now the BGA 60. This is the bigger, badder brother to the 57. Okay, I think this one is important to test as well because there are a lot of people who own a combi unit. Go, I'm ready.
Go.
The electric combis.
That one I did notice, the tube is closer to the ground and it did perform really well.
It seemed like the angle of attack when we tested this attachment, yeah, helped. It was blowing down the line really well. And it moved the material off the square footage quickly.
The 60 actually did that well too, with the tube extending a little bit.
Yep.
You're a tall guy, you were kind of you're aiming more down than a shorter person. So having something that gives your nozzle some length is helpful for you.
Yeah, totally. All right, then you have the BGA 100 and the BGA 200. These are not super new. These are models that hook to your hip and the battery plugs in through a wire that you can wear on your back or on your hip or a variety of ways. This is 17 newtons. So this has the same output as a BR 350. The 200 has 21 newtons. So this is the same output kind of in between these two units right here.
Have you ever seen those like Alpine sniper that have the crazy grip on their gun? That's what this thing looks like. I'm all.
The atomic leaf blowerinator!
Without the battery in this, because you're wearing it on your back, this is extremely light. You do have a backpack, which is gonna be heavy, but as far as arm strength goes and handheld, it is a friendly thing to use.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's very interesting.
You know what? This one also should be included in this conversation. We've done a video on this as well. The BGA 300. She's heavy, she's expensive, but she's powerful. This is the same output as this one.
The BR 430
So,
gas equivalent.
All right, you ready? Set, go. We're getting there, guys. As far as battery backpack blowers go, this thing is well built, commercial duty. And if you want to see a video that's all about this blower, we have a link to that on the screen now.
Out of all these battery units, Stu, if you were a homeowner, what would you buy? And if you were a commercial, what would you buy?
So in the case of these two blowers, these are your homeowner blowers. You are looking at either a BGA 57 or a BGA 60. Both come as a bundle with a battery and a charger. This blower is $199 and it runs for 24 minutes. So it's got a great price tag and it's got a long run time. In the case of the BGA 60, this is $299, but it comes with a bigger battery, a lot more power, but because of the power, it has a shorter run time. It'll only run for 15 minutes. So there's quite a bit of debate. They both still have a place in the market, but I think I would prefer the power, and I think 15 minutes would be enough runtime for me.
I use a 86 and it takes me 3-4 minutes to do my driveway.
Yeah, and you have an above average size driveway.
It's an above average size driveway.
Maybe it's 150 feet.
I bet it's every bit of 200 feet, but 3 to 4 minutes with my 86. I could do it with that multiple times without charging it.
Yeah.
I could do my garage, I could do my front porch, and it would still be enough. And because this blows harder, it goes faster, as we've seen.
Yeah.
And so you don't need as much runtime. If I was picking one, I would pick that for my house.
No doubt.
For sure.
But now say you're a commercial guy.
Right.
You have battery contracts that require you to run battery tools. What do you buy there?
How many batteries do I have? Got a couple?
You got
as many as I need.
15 batteries. You got lots of batteries.
I think I probably would go with something like this just because I like the replaceable battery, not the backpack. I'm going to have it with my other handheld items.
So there was a time when the battery manufacturers realized that they needed longer run times. That's what the customer was asking for. The only way to do that was to put a battery bigger than the unit could bear. So you had to bear the battery, and they started going down this path of corded battery options.
Yeah.
But the customer said, we don't like the cord. We don't like wearing the backpack. It's too hot, it's too heavy.
Right.
And the direction has switched to more slotted batteries, and you just carry more batteries with you. Yeah. And I would agree. I would say if I was going commercial and going battery, I would be running the BGA 86, and I would just have plenty of batteries to make it through the day.
Yep. I'd have one in my hedge trimmer, my string trimmer, my edger, and be swapping them and charging them. And
or I would be making the leap all the way to this unit here, the BGA 300.
Or I would just go this route, KMA 135, right?
Yeah.
And run everything off of that. Because I actually liked this blower setup, and it did a good job.
Yeah, it did a really good job. I was impressed with this blower. I would say I don't recommend this attachment to a lot of people. I always tell people, you're going to want a dedicated blower. But this thing blows hard. The output's great. Yep. And I can see the application for that now more than I could before.
If I was doing residential homes and just doing driveways like my driveway, even if I was doing 20 a day, I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
If I was doing parking lots and large areas, commercial properties, I'd probably go with a handheld. Or, yeah, definitely.
Or that one, maybe.
That route. Yeah. If I had to go battery.
It's just a matter of how strong your back is if you're going to go all the way up to 36 pounds.
Yeah. Guys, the VR backpack lineup is so deep, it's incredible. They give you so many options. I was impressed with how they performed. It is a huge increase in time and productivity once you switch to the backpack, but there is one caveat to that. It was the slowest performer of today, the BR 200. Guys, we have a video here of the BR 200. It was the slowest performer in the 1,000 square foot test, but it is comfortable. It has a place in the market. I think I could see my mom wanting to use this. Yeah. I could see anybody who just has a normal driveway but has arm problems, shoulder problems. It has a place.
A lot of landscapers who have one of their kids working with them or their wife working with them,
absolutely,
they buy them at 200.
Because there's actually a lot of rotational force. It's not just about weight. When you have one of these more powerful blowers, it's twisting your body.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of core strength to kind of resist that blower arm. And the 200 doesn't really have any of that. But there's some velocity loss, some wind loss, some power loss of using that tube and that.
You know, a lot of golf courses that are doing like cart paths run the 200 because it's light and they can wear it and they can walk the whole course.
Yeah.
So after the BR 200, you jump into the BR 350, 430, and 450. Now these blowers, they all look very similar because they are very similar, but they are tuned for different outputs. You have 17 newtons, you have 26 newtons, you have 28 newtons. So we tested the 200, the 350, the 430, and you can see those tests now. Ready, go.
Yeah, the 430 performed really well. It actually was the biggest jump. There was a large jump between the 350 and the 450 in time. There is a difference between these three engines versus the other engines, the 600 and up engines. These are all a traditional two-stroke. They all run two-stroke fuel, but these actually have a valve train, valves, cam gear, and these don't. These are much simpler engines, and with that simplicity, less moving parts, less maintenance over time, and that is a benefit to these blowers. So there is some payoff to the differences.
So when we switched over to the BR 350, and this is 17 Newton rating, were you expecting it to perform a lot better than any of the handhelds?
I thought there was gonna be...
With only 2+ newtons.
Yeah, for some reason I was thinking backpack blower, it's gonna perform twice as good, in my mind.
Yeah.
But it obviously didn't.
I mean, it was a noticeable jump in power. I think if you bought this blower, you wouldn't be regretful of the buy.
Right.
But for just a little more money, you can get into this blower.
Yeah.
And this is where we recommend most people go if you're looking for that next level of performance over your handheld that you've owned for a while at your house. According to Stihl, the BR 350 is considered a heavy-duty homeowner product or a farm and ranch product. And the BR 430 is where commercial blowers begin. And we noticed a big jump coming from right here to right here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would, if thinking about these three blowers, it is well worth the extra money to jump up to the 430. It is a much more commercial product. It performed really well. Times dropped major when you switch to this machine.
Now when you go to the BR 450, you could see that the fan housing's slightly larger, and that you get this feature, an adjustable tube, and you also get an adjustable handle feature. We didn't test this blower because it's only 2 newtons more power. We're talking, that's a user error difference in performance there. So we jumped all the way to the BR 600, which is a 32 Newton blower. Ready, go.
Were you impressed with the BR 600 over the 430?
Honestly, I was expecting big gains going to the 600. We didn't find them.
Yeah, they're almost identical times.
Almost identical times in this setting.
In this setting, yeah. I don't know if if it was wet, if it was rocks, if it was sticks, if it would have performed very, very different. But for this type of medium, this light flake, it blew identical.
Agreed. There's a lot of videos where we discuss the difference in these blowers as far as their engines and all the little fundamental things that make a blower different. The fuel savings on this, from another video that we'll link to you, pays for this blower every single year that you own it. And this blower is lighter than that blower, even though it looks bigger.
Yeah.
It's less weight. On a dyno, more output, but in the real world, similar performance.
Pretty similar performance.
So if that one's less money, this one's more money. Good debate on which blower you should buy.
Yeah, I
to
think there's
stock
probably
your landscape crew.
slightly less maintenance cost with that one than this one. But there's also an exhaust screen in this you'll have to clean every once in a while that you don't have to do with this.
Yep.
Some minor differences.
So in the case of actually getting a visual on Stihl's full blower family, this blower cannot be skipped over. This is the BR500, and most dealerships I go into do not have one of these on the wall. This is a low noise model. It is the same engine that's in a 600, but it's tuned down a whole horsepower down to 3 horsepower, and it has some sound collecting foam around the motor, and it has a silencer on the tube. You can't even believe it's blowing out of the end because it's so quiet.
So this would be used for what?
This would be used for operating around homes, hotels, business districts before 9 o'clock. If you have noise ordinances to keep you below 64 decibels, this blower is below 64 decibels. So this one cannot be heard through a block wall, essentially.
And that could be a sales pitch to win certain clients, jobs, whatever. I mean, some places require it, but you could also have that and use it as just a selling point. But it is less powerful.
You know, a lot of times when people come in and shop battery blowers, what they're really shopping is low noise. And this blower is worth putting into the discussion because it has similar noise to any of the battery options.
Yeah. Well, what about the big boys?
You have the 700. The 700 is in the 600 family. It's the 600 motor. It's a similar upgrade like a 450 is to a 430, where you have a bigger housing and you have different timing. This one puts out more volume. Now, this one's rated at 35 newtons, whereas this one's 32. And we were expecting this one to perform really well in that dry materials because it has low airspeed, but lots of air. But we didn't find a massive jump.
No.
It was almost the same as the 600 and almost the same as the 430.
Yep. I know a lot of you
Still-
guys are fans of the 700 out there, and I would love to see some comments. I mean, this could be a forum for you guys to kind of share. Have you seen a large benefit to going 700 versus 600 versus 430? Are you a believer that it has more power or not? I'd be curious to see. Just in this test, it was like a 1 second difference again,
Yeah.
which could be all in technique or how much wind there was blowing at that moment with us too. Stihl kind of says like this one shoots a bigger, wider path basically, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a volume mover.
Yeah.
And I mean, it moved technically more. I just didn't see a huge difference. I was kind of expecting my mind.
It rocked. I mean, maybe we needed more than 1,000 square feet
Yeah.
for it to really start to show itself.
Yeah, yeah. If you're
Yeah.
doing a 2-acre backyard and you're doing a big leaf blowout,
Yeah.
I mean, that adds up.
Yeah.
That adds up big time.
Yeah, maybe.
But for this small test, I didn't see a huge difference. Okay, well, what about these ones?
The 800. Y'all know I love the 800. We don't have a lot of problems out of the 800.
No, they're good.
It's a 4-mix blower. It comes in a lightweight. It comes in a full feature where you get the accordion tube, you get the adjustable handle, you get the hip belt, and you get the hip start. All of that adds weight. That makes me a fan of the 800X because the output's the same. And this is the one that we tested, and it's rated at 41 newtons. And here's a case where we did see another large jump in productivity.
It kicked butt.
And time is money.
Yep.
Go. How long?
25.
25, wow. So if it came down to blowers, first answer, you're a homeowner.
Okay.
What backpack blower do you buy? You have a big piece of property, you need a backpack blower, what do you buy?
I'd go 430.
You go 430? I would probably go 800
Big yard.
as a homeowner.
Just get it.
Might as well.
No regrets.
No regrets, you go all the way.
Yeah. I mean, it did so good, guys. It did make all the other ones seem puny. It dropped over 10 seconds, which was like a 35% increase or something crazy like that, right?
Yep.
It did really good.
Now, I've always been a 600 fan, so if I had to waffle over another blower, it would be the 600 for its weight, for its durability. They last forever, very fuel efficient, and they have good power.
Yeah, I think those are good choices.
And then your commercial landscaper, what do you do?
Maybe the 800. But you're wearing it all day, every day. It's heavy. It's beating you up.
Yeah.
I might go lighter. I might go 600.
600, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I need all that power.
I do agree with you. I like the 600. I like the 430. I don't begrudge anybody for picking either one. The 450 is logical too.
Yep.
Because it's just everything you like about the 430. A couple more bucks get you a couple more features, a couple more newtons of output.
And the tube extension, we've learned, the closer your tubes to the ground, the better your blowers can perform.
The 700 makes a lot of sense, just like the 600, but a little more output, a little more volume. I'm thinking commercially, I would lean towards the 800, just for pure productivity. You got big jobs to do. You're getting out of that job quicker.
If I was doing commercial properties, like parking lots and bigger areas, 100%. If I was just doing residences, I'd probably go 600 or below.
You had quarter-acre lots.
I'd go BR 430.
You're in and out and in and out, on and off, on and off.
That's probably the route I'd go.
Because as we saw here, we're talking seconds. That wouldn't be a huge factor.
Not a huge factor, yeah.
You could even go handheld.
You could go handheld.
As far as Stihl goes, this is the end of the family. But when it comes to moving material, sometimes you need something next level. A teaser for next week's video, we're gonna show you the next level.
What if you have even more to blow?
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the bell. And when we drop the video of these big blowers next week, you'll be reminded.
Come on. Guys, it means a lot if you like and subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us. Helps you stay abreast to every time we post something new. And it really helps us grow this channel. Please share this videos with your other landscaper friends, homeowners who have blower questions. We'd love to be an asset to you, help you learn what is the right machine for you to help your business grow. Come on. Thank you guys so much for watching.
See you next week.
Come on.